Candidate Williams will once again go first, followed by Colonel Glenn, Senator Bennett, and Carrie Beard will ask this question.
This is a three-part question. The Equal Access to Justice Act was signed into law with noble intent, but has since proven to be filled with many unintended consequences. Special interest groups have utilized this law to litigate their way into a business model. With the net worth cap exemption for 501c3 organizations, the lack of reporting provisions for awards and settlements, and the evasion of the statutory cap on attorney fees, the Equal Access to Justice Act is costing the country millions of dollars. What will you do to restore the Equal Access to Justice Act to its true intent? Would you support Endangered Species Act reform? And what modifications would you suggest for each of these laws?
Candidate Williams. Go ahead.
Wow. Three questions in one question. Well, I think that if you talk about endangered species, I think that if we are going to protect endangered species, you should be treated as similar as wolf protection compensation. Then you pay the private owners to actually protect endangered species. So for the potential income, whatever they want to work on their property loss. When it comes to the Justice Act, actually I have been advocating for justice system reform. I think this country has gone down to the wrong path, where people's rights, liberties, and access not equally protected. So that there are lots of people at the bottom of the society, who especially the poor, who are minorities, who don't get equal protection, don't have equal access. So that's what we have been advocating. Look at our prison system today, that our prisons full 50% of people who are non-violent criminals, and we are paying for it as taxpayers. And how do we solve that problem? Maybe look at the minimum sentence laws, and look at the marijuana issue, and the people who can be rehabilitated in the communities, and access to the education, the counseling. We should try to do that, help them. Otherwise, our prison will have no room for violent criminals, but lots of people there could be productive citizens are locked up for 20 years. That's not justice at all. So I would also advocate for our court reform. Judges supposed to be impartial and very clean, and our lawyers supposed to uphold the laws, protect people's rights and property. But it's no longer the case. Lots of abuses and lots of corruption. I think that I would advocate to actually reform all those systems and hold them accountable.
Done. Thank you. Glenn?
Well, when I listened to that, I got a headache. I don't know about you. All that sounds like is a government program and a government philosophy that's run amok. And I think we need to look at things like that. When you start talking about equal access to things, I start talking about property rights, I talk about fairness. I hear the ability for being able to use taxpayer dollars to actually litigate against yourself. When you start talking about endangered species, look, we all love the environment, we love endangered species, but what the system is set up right now, we almost have to, as a private citizen, sue the government to be able to remove endangered species from the list, and it's having a severe impact on property rights issues. I think that's wrong. I don't believe that. We need to also start looking at, and we start talking about fairness issues. I think about what's happening right now, like we talk about the importance of water. We see government over-encroaching in those particular areas. Waters of the U.S. is a perfect example of that. And people are trying to fight against that. We're talking about equal access to justice, but we're saying that we're going to now empower people to sue themselves. We have to remember that when you start talking about suing the government, you are the government. Do people realize that? Equal access to justice means that you are suing yourself. The money that you're using to sue is the money that's being taken from you. So be very careful with that. What I want to see is more control, more reform, more things that are focused on property rights, more issues that result to fairness. That's how we're going to win that.
And so
we're better off not litigating issues. Sometimes you have to, and I'm willing to look at reform on anything. I have some privacy concerns about some of the reforms that have been suggested with the Equal Access to Justice Act, but we can work together and see if we can improve it. I do think there's plenty of proof in Colorado that we can come together in a responsible way to deal with our problems and to deal with our opportunities here, as we did with the greater sage-grouse, which we try to do and are still trying to do with the Gunnison sage-grouse, as we did with the Rhone Plateau. There's case after case after case where we have been responsible stewards of our environment and at the same time been able to exploit the natural resources that we have in Colorado. And I think it's that balance that we need to strike. I'm not standing here to say that we should get rid of the EPA, as Darryl Glenn has said over and over again, or throw out all the Clean Water Act regulations or Clean Air Act regulations, or that climate change isn't real. It is real, and we are contributing to it. But if we work together to make progress, I know we can, because I've seen it over the last 7 years, year in and year out.
One of the most impression I had when I first came to this country is how beautiful America is, how clean the environment is, how much people care about environment at the grassroots level. I learned to use recycled trash cans. And I want to tell you, in China, we have a total tyranny. The biggest polluter is the Chinese government. So I would like to say at the grassroots level, we increase awareness, we organize ourselves, but we will have protection regulation against the polluters. But when it comes to really protect the environment, it's our citizens' duty. And we don't want government overreach to kill jobs.